Hi everybody, this is Ravi Nallapudi from Precision Academy. Today I am going to talk about reptiles, amphibians, arthropods and insects which are critically endangered. So you can see the images of turtles and the gharial there. So most of us might not be knowing that turtles are also reptiles. We know about snakes, lizards perhaps, but not turtles. Like turtles are also reptiles, and the crocodiles, like there are also reptiles like gharial, which I am going to talk about today. And then we have amphibians, arthropods, all these uh, species which are getting extinct. We need to be having more awareness about these creatures. So if you are from villages, you will be knowing, like in my childhood, a turtle has come to our house, and then we carefully took it and dropped it in the water, in the stream nearby. So we consider that as Lord Venkateshwara in our villages, like we are close to Tirupati, our native place. So we respect it because Kurma Avtara, perhaps that's the reason why we treat it as Lord Venkateshwara. So let me start with Narthar River terrapin. It's native of Bangladesh, Cambodia, India, Indonesia. So these four, and then Malaysia. It's a riverine turtle. So there are two types of turtles, like we see some turtles in the sea, some in the rivers. This is a riverine turtle. Whatever turtles we see in our places are most probably a riverine turtle. So eastern India, we find this in eastern India. It is now endangered. Narthar river terrapin. So you can see river there. So river means it's a riverine turtle. A red crowned roofed turtle. You can see this red crown. So in the neck, this is historically found in central Nepal, northeastern India, Bangladesh, and probably in Burma. So it's all neighboring places you need to see. So all that place, it suffered decline in population. So harvested for meat, very unfortunate, and shells. So also in fishing nets, they get caught up in fishing nets. And also water pollution, that is one of the reasons. Hydroelectric schemes, so projects, we start hydroelectric projects. So now we have only 400 in wild, just 400 are left. So let's hope this species will survive. So red crowned roofed turtle. So in the step 1, we need to create awareness. We need to be aware which turtles are endangered critically, and then we should find ways to save these turtles. If you are nature friendly, if you want to save all this biodiversity and the species, first step is to know about them. So which are endangered, which are critically endangered, which we need to intervene. We need to fund to the NGOs, or we need to volunteer and save this species. Hawksbill sea turtle. So hawksbill sea turtle, sometimes it's better to know, but it's really difficult to remember this scientific names. Eretmochelys imbricata is a critically endangered sea turtle. This is a sea turtle, you can see in the name itself, it's a sea turtle as a result of human fishing practices. So found predominantly in tropical reefs of Indian, Pacific, Atlantic oceans. They like coral reefs, so they stay there close to coral reefs. So it's a sea turtle, hawksbill. How about olive ridley and star turtles? Like we keep seeing the smuggling in endangered species, rare species, exotic species, and we hear about like star turtle and olive ridley, and most of the environment friendly people, they try to go and save this olive ridley. Actually, I just wanted to tell you that these are not endangered, these are only as per IUCN status vulnerable. So after vulnerable, if the population drastically gets reduced, then it becomes endangered, then it becomes critically endangered. If the population comes down so drastically to 400 500 adults, then we call it critically endangered. This is not, these two are not critically endangered, but this is so beautiful. See this star turtle, so you can see the stars, so many stars on it. And then this is the olive ridley in Orissa. This year there were lakhs of olive ridley turtles which came, laid eggs, because the beaches are free due to the COVID pandemic. So this olive ridley and star turtles, they are vulnerable. Gharials, a very important species. Most of the times we see about this gharials in news. A fish eating crocodile, this is a fish eating crocodile in the rivers. Actually we see it's one of the longest living crocodiles, oldest known, like 4,000 years old. We know about it, we know about it through Indus Valley civilization. So this existed during Indus Valley civilization, that's the gharial. So Hindus regard it as the vehicle of Ganges, so the deity Gangama, so it is the vehicle of the Ganges. So this is the river, this is the vehicle of the river. You know, like white elephant for Indra, Airavatam, so bull for Shiva. So same way like Garuda for Vishnu, and Gharial is for Ganga. And loss of habitat, that is the most important for any other also, but here specifically you need to know the sand mining is also causing problem, and the conversion into agriculture lands and depletion of fish resources. That's one of the, see, everything has balance. Like we think we are not hurting gharials, we are only fishing, but so how about the food for gharials? If you take away all its food, so it's detrimental to detrimental fishing methods are also causing problems to gharials population. So it's critically endangered from the year 2007. So small population of gharials are there in Sun River, Girwa, Ganges, Mahanadi, Chambal. So Chambal river. So these are the rivers where we find gharials. Remember this Chambal river, Mahanadi, Ganges, Girwa, Sun rivers, so northern plains. And then amphibians. So frogs, if you are from villages you will be aware of this, the sound of back, this the frog sounds. Ghats what frog or Murti's frog. So whoever finds this new species, their name generally, or their master or the guide's name or the spouse's name, whomsoever they respect, they give that name. So this Ghats what frog. Western Ghats you find them in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, you see this frog. This is a different species, this is getting endangered. Indrana gundia, this is the frog, Indrana gundia species. It's also in Western Ghats. I am talking about Western. Most of the amphibians or the frogs we find in Western Ghats. So many species are there. So it evolved independently in India almost 50 million years ago. 50 million years, that is 5 crore years ago it evolved. So Kottigehar dancing frog, it dances. So dancing frog, it's endemic to Western Ghats in Karnataka. So you can, so We talked about flying Nandapa, flying squirrel in the mammals category. Now we are talking about dancing frogs. So in Western Ghats in Karnataka, Kottigehar. So some more Western Ghats species, Dattatreya, night frog. It's found only in the nights. The Shola forest around Dattatreya Pita. So it's in Chikmagalur there is Dattatreya Pitam. So near that in Karnataka we find this night frog, Dattatreya night frog, based on the place where it was found. So white spotted bush frog. Bush frogs are in the bushes. So you can see these white spots. White spotted bush frog. So Gunther's bush frog. It's endemic to. Endemic means nothing, like it's available throughout the year. You can find it there, the location, in a specific location. So it is not like it's not seen everywhere. It's specific to that particular place. Rochester's great. So its name of this is also a bush frog. Frankie Busyut wife, her name is Great. So they named it Rochester's Great. Endemic to Western Ghats, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So this bush frog. Some more frogs, Anaimali, flying frog. I talked about dancing frog, now I am talking about flying frog. It can descend aerially more than 45 degrees angle. It can come swing. So flying frog. So 100 kilometers, 100 square kilometers area in Indira Gandhi National Park we see. It's a specific location we find it. So we call it endemic to that area. Shillong bubble nest frog. You can see this bubble type of thing. Shillong. So this is the only frog I am talking today which is not in Western Ghats. Shillong. So Khasi Hills, Meghalaya northeast, that's where we find it. Resplendent shrub frog. So short limbs, numerous macro glands. You can see big glands here. So discovered from the Anamudi summit. It's in Western Ghats, Kerala. Anamudi summit. In that peak we found them. So now I talk about the insects. Pygmy hog sucking louse. It's known as pygmy hog sucking louse. Endemic to India. Only found in parts of northwestern Assam. Arthropods. Rameshwaram parachute spider. It's like a parachute. Rameshwaram ornamental, Rameshwaram parachute spider. These are the names it has. Critically endangered species of tarantula. These are the spiders. We call them in scientific name as tarantula. So it was discovered in 2005 by Andrew Smith from a sacred grove of Hanuma Vilasam temple in Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram is known for temples, and one of the sacred temples it is found. So that's why the name Rameshwaram parachute spider. And then it was initially thought endemic to this Rameshwaram district, but later it's found that outside India also, in Mannar district of northern Sri Lanka. So what we are now assuming is because of its close proximity to that island suggests that species may have dispersed over the land bridge between the two countries in the Pleistocene epoch. So long back there was connection between Sri Lanka and India, small bridge like land connection. So that could be the reason how they have spread in these two areas. and peacock tarantula. See how beautiful it's looking. The species, its natural habitat is deciduous forests of Andhra Pradesh. So it is also called Guti sapper ornamental. Guti is a big railway junction. That could be the reason why they came here through railways, or we don't know. But this area it was found. It's endemic to this in deciduous forests of Andhra Pradesh. The species natural habitat is AP. So there has never been a recorded human death from it, but it bites. It has poison. It is medically significant. A venom that may cause intense pain. It looks so beautiful, but if you go close to that, if you disturb it, it can bite you. Be careful. I have a question for you. This is asked in civil services in 2017. If you want to see gharials in their natural habitat, which one of the following is the best place to visit? A. Bhitarkanika mangroves. B. Chambal River. C. Pulicat Lake. D. Deepore Bill. I told you to remember this Chambal River. That's where you find the gharials. In addition to that, you have other rivers also I talked about, but I told you about Chambal River to remember. And I have a essay type question. So you take pen and paper, list critically endangered reptiles, amphibians and arthropod species in India and state where we can locate them. So then you go to YouTube channel where you have seen this, and go to the comments and tell how many you could reproduce from it, how much more awareness you have about this endangered species now. Thanks for joining. We'll meet again with some other species and get more awareness about our environment. Till such time, thank you. Bye bye.